plus 1 equals 1. Huh? Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam. The Lord is always complete and perfect. He has everything within himself. Cause and effect. Beginning and ending. Energy and the source of energy. Time and eternity. He has everything within himself. So, devotional service to him is also of the same quality. Devotional service is both the cause and the effect of devotional service. So the cause of our getting involved in devotional service is someone else's devotional service. When we meet a pure devotee or a guru, we associate with that person, and due to their devotional service, we also become connected in devotional service. And then due to our devotional service, we increase our devotional service. You see? So devotional service is the only thing that can cause devotional service, and devotional service is the only thing that can be the effect of devotional service, because they're both transcendental. Where does mundane knowledge and mental speculation and all this stuff come into it? Well, they're only necessary in the preliminary purification stage to get rid of our mundane inebrieties, our mundane contaminations. As soon as we pass beyond that stage to the actual stage of chanting the pure holy name, then we have no more need for these things, because the holy name himself reveals Krishna. Krishna is himself the holy name. And the holy name has all the potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead invested. So the holy name is both the cause and the effect. Just chant the holy name. All this will become obvious. This is confirmed in Bhagavad-gītā by the Lord himself. One can understand me only through devotional service. In the beginning, his teaching of the Gita, the Lord said to Arjuna, "Because you are my devotee, I shall teach these secrets to you." Vedic knowledge means ultimately to understand the Supreme Lord. And the process of entering into his kingdom is devotional service. That is accepted by all authentic scriptures. Mental speculators neglect the process of devotional service, and by simply trying to defeat others in philosophical research, they fail to develop the ecstasy of devotion. So we see many devotees. First of all, Krishna says to Arjuna, "I will teach these secrets to you because you're my devotee." Not because you're a great scholar, not because you're a great fighter, not because you're this or that, but because you're a devotee. See, Krishna will only reveal his secrets to a devotee. He won't reveal to the non-devotee scholars and the impersonalist speculators. So that's because through devotional service one can actually understand Krishna. And if you understand Krishna, then you become intimately associated with him. And Krishna doesn't want the association of the speculators. He doesn't want the association of the impersonalists. They're offensive. Well, why should he want them? So, if you have this knowledge, you can enter into the kingdom of God. You can enter into the spiritual world. And Krishna doesn't want those rascals in the spiritual world. So that's not the process. The process is devotional service itself. But we see the mental speculators, they're very expert in arguing. Oh, they can argue all day. In fact, they like it. And that's the difference between a speculator and a devotee. The speculator is always out trying to get the edge on the other guy, and defeat his opponents. But the devotee doesn't care for this. The devotee just wants to worship Krishna. So he's always chanting the holy name. He's always doing devotional service. Always engaged, always absorbed, like that, favorably in devotional service. That's the difference. For example, when Śrīla Rupa Goswami was approached by some scholar Let me debate you. And the winner will, take all of the honor and be known as the greatest Acharya. Rupa Goswami didn't care to debate. He wasn't into it. He was too busy. He had all these books to write on the revelations of Lord Chaitanya to him. So he didn't want to debate. He said, no, it's all right. If you want, I'll sign the paper that says you win. That's okay. He didn't care. So similarly, we don't care when people want to debate us on YouTube and stuff like this. I mean, we really we don't have time for it. In the 11th canto, 20th chapter, verse 31 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Krishna says, "My dear Uddhava, for persons who are seriously engaged in my service, the cultivation of philosophical speculation and artificial renunciation are not very favorable. When a person becomes my devotee, he automatically attains the fruits of the renunciation of material enjoyment, and he gets sufficient knowledge to understand the absolute truth." This is Krishna himself saying this. See? But Krishna himself says, don't worry about it. Just like Haridas Thakur. Haridas was illiterate, couldn't read a word. Yet he had complete transcendental knowledge just by chanting the holy name. He chanted 3 lakhs of holy name a day. That's practically 24 hours chanting. I mean, it's inconceivable. His whole life he did that. So how could he be so knowledgeable? All he did was chant. Well, the Lord reveals this knowledge from within. You see? You have to do the process. If you do the process, you'll get the result. And then you'll sit there and go, I know. Otherwise you'll go, what? How is it possible to get knowledge without studying? Huh? Well, you have to try the process. That is the test of advancement in devotional service. A devotee cannot be in darkness because the Lord shows him special favor and enlightens him from within. In the 11th canto, 20th chapter, verses 32 and 33 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Lord further instructs Uddhava, "My dear friend, the prophets derived from fruitive activities, austerities, the culture of philosophical knowledge, renunciation, the practice of mystic yoga, charity, and all similar auspicious activities are automatically achieved by my devotees, those who are simply attached to me by loving service. These devotees have everything at their disposal, but they desire nothing outside of my devotional service. If ever a devotee should desire some material profit, like promotion to the heavenly planets or some spiritual profit, to go to the Vaikunthas, by my causeless mercy, his desires are very easily fulfilled." Actually, a person who is developing Krishna consciousness and still has some attachment to material enjoyment will soon be freed from such a tendency by regularly discharging devotional service under the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master. Because why? The results of devotional service are eternal and transcendental. Whereas the results of any kind of material process like going to the heavenly planets or different mystical powers and stuff like that are all temporary. Knowing this, the devotees automatically give up the material things and they take up a process that gives spiritual benefits, which is devotional service. Spiritual benefits are all eternal. They never decay, they're never lost. They can't be contaminated or stolen or anything. They are ours eternally. So why shouldn't we just concentrate on developing those things? Śrīla Rupa Goswami then recommends that one should not be attached to material sense enjoyment, but should accept everything enjoyable which is in relationship to Krishna. For example, eating is necessary, and one wants some palatable dishes to satisfy his sense of taste. So in that case, for the satisfaction of Krishna, rather than for the satisfaction of the tongue, some palatable dishes may be prepared and offered to Krishna. Then it is renunciation. Let palatable dishes be prepared, But unless they are offered to Krishna, one should not accept them for eating. This vow of rejecting anything which is not offered to Krishna is actually renunciation. And by such renunciation, one is able to satisfy the demands of the senses. So understand the process. It's just like we have a nice house. We have adequate clothing. We have such nice equipment. Nice, good camera and computers and stuff, software and everything. It's not like we're, living under a tree somewhere. Although we've done that too. But because we have engaged all these things in devotional service, they're not a burden. They're not material. Actually, they're Krishna's spiritual energy. And we see like that. We're not attached to them because we feel, oh, this belongs to